What's going on, guys? We are back with some more. We get the result against Burnley. No draw to Wolves. Spurs. Oh, yep, and we have challenge behind us, that's for sure. We get a win. And we're in the Champions League next year. Draw or loss, pray. Tottenham's playing Brentford. And Liverpool's playing Forest. Okay, so yeah, so we gotta win.
An unbeatable feeling of match days in the air and the knowledge that this
top four is on the line, and here we go. We are underway from Birmingham.
Delighted to be joined by Sue Smith for commentary, and here we are all set for the final act of another season in the Premier League. It's Birmingham City, and they face Brighton and Hove Albion.
Well, it's been a great season, hasn't it? Plenty of drama at both ends of the table. We've seen some top individual performances, some incredible goals too. Hopefully it's the same again today.
This is how Birmingham City line up.
Yeah, it looks like a 4-2-1-3 system, and I do like the look of this. Plenty of protection defensively, but they have the numbers and the width when attacking. The fullbacks will be encouraged to join in because of the cover.
This is the visitors' team for today.
Yeah, they've gone for 4 at the back, 2 midfielders protecting the back line, and then 4 forwards, which should make this exciting to watch. The number 10, I'm sure, is going to be looking for pockets of space to get into, to create for the 3 forwards.
Oh, terrific from the keeper. Super speed, razor-sharp reactions. Well, the league table tells the story and the level of pressure on them today, needing a win to qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah, this is so important for everybody connected with the club. There's so much money involved, and the players, of course, will want to compete on the biggest stage. I think if they perform the way they have done all season, they'll be fine.
Well, big news. A penalty has been awarded in one of the other games. Alex Scott with the details.
Yeah, it was Brentford that were awarded the penalty, and he's got his technique all wrong in this one today. He's hit it well wide of the post. It remains 0-0 with 10 minutes played.
Cheers, Alex. They need to be better on the ball than that. They're getting into a good position. Well, he's a player that many have been talking about. Will we be talking about him for the right reasons today, though?
Well, he's certainly weighed in with quite a few goals this season, hasn't he? It's going to be so important that they keep him quiet. If they let him run rampant, as other teams have done at times, then we all know what the outcome will be.
He's in here.
And it's a goal!
It's no longer goalless. There's the opener.
And he just stayed onside.
Well, here's the replay.
Get in!
Great skill to play the ball through. The way to pass, it's just right. And then through on goal, he decides to go for power. Absolutely smashes it past the keeper. And you have to say it was a good finish.
Get in.
So off we go at 1-0. And that's one taken for the team. The attack.
That's gonna be a yellow on Reece James. Yellow card.
It's played into the box. And that will ease any defensive worry. Getting a bit congested in the middle of the park. Good vision. They could level it here. It's a pretty good save by the keeper. The pass was read and the ball has changed hands. And they went too soon. It's offside.
He was deemed offsides.
Got room to operate in here. He's done well to get past his marker. So the chance now to extend the lead from this corner. Over it comes. It's not the best of clearances. Can he finish?
And it's a goal!
That puts them further into
For
a
2-0!
position to be in.
Well, if we watch this again, it's a tidy finish, and it's certainly been coming. The pressure's been building, and they've
Get
got the
in.
reward.
James. Moving the ball around well here. And a stop made that didn't require a great deal of effort. There's room to do something here. Now it needs a good ball in. That will be a corner. Ball comes in. Burkhardt. Jonathan Burkhardt. They can't go any further here. Offside. Well, half-time is looming. What do you make of this wonderful lead that they've carved out for themselves, Sue?
Yeah, they've been the better of the two sides. They've created some good
I want to get
opportunities
to the
as
half.
well, and I'm sure they'll go into the break pretty happy with the scoreline.
A goal at Spurs. Over to Alex Scott for more.
Yeah, it's a goal for Spurs. No one was marking him. He had too much time, and it was a simple finish in the end. They've scored the opener here with 41 minutes on the clock.
Alex there keeping us informed all the way. Read the pass well and cuts it out. Making decent progress here.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 1 minute of added time.
Good patient build-up, but not quite the end product.
And that's going to go for the half.
And the referee's whistle brings the first 45 minutes to a close.
And it's 2-0. Look, we score one more, we kill a fucking game. And we're going to Champions
Restart, off we go
League
again.
season. Next goal's a big goal.
Could be something on. What a chance here. And further clear they go. There's surely no throwing this one away.
Boom!
Well, we can see it again now, and what a wonderfully weighted pass this is. It's inch perfect, and then once he's through, there was never any doubt, was there? Hits it hard and true, and the keeper just can't react in time.
He's in here.
Fuck.
Very well.
Big save.
Alert and ready. Switched on and ready to intercept there.
He does.
Jonathan Burkhardt. Some good work to win it there. Well, I'd like to know your thoughts on the transfer that's finally taken place, Sue. It seemed to take a while, but it's all systems go now.
Well, yeah, certainly a lot of focus on the boy over the last year or two, and he does seem to have a bright future ahead of him. Hopefully it turns out to be a good move, though, and he can continue his development.
There's good width to this attack now. Trying to carve out the angle. I'm hearing there's been a goal at Chelsea. Alex Scott to fill us in.
It's a goal for Chelsea. The defender was caught in possession just before the goal. He won't want to be watching that back. The score's level again now at 1-1 with 58 minutes on the clock.
Alex there ensuring we don't miss a thing. And to go a long way with this. What a chance here.
And it's 4.
It's become a question of just how many they'll get.
Well, take a look at this. The pace they show on transition, it's just so impressive. The defenders can't stay with them. And then through on goal, he decides to go for power. Absolutely smashes it past the keeper. And you have to say it was a good finish.
It looks the right ball. And stopped in their tracks. Well watched. And the flag is up to stop them here. That is a really tight call.
Oh my God.
timing, defending of the highest quality. Untidy in possession there. Making good progress here. Now, this has to be. And there's that.
The hat-trick hero will be the hat-trick hero.
Hat-trick. He'll be taking the match ball home.
Well, we can see it again now, and they're so dangerous in these transitions. The speed of the counter-attack is really impressive, and it makes the striker's job relatively easy. All he has to do is make the right connection. It's a really good goal.
Seema. Good vision. Brilliant work by the man in goal. That's a top stop. Played into the box. And that one is got away. Can he finish? It's a pretty good save by the keeper. It's been delivered. Well, he couldn't get free, and he couldn't find the target.
Well, it's certainly not a free header. It's strong defending here, just enough to put him off at that vital moment.
Good work to regain possession. Oh, they looked in there. That's nicely cut out. This could be threatening. So switched on to sense the threat and deal with it. Burkhardt. And that'll be a Brighton ball.
Tom Brady trusted me with this project.
Weighted beautifully. And denied by a top draw tackle. Trying his luck from range here. And it's a wild, wild attempt from range. Not one for the highlights.
Oh, it's a poor choice. He's got other options on. Why is he shooting from that sort of distance?
Oh, that's how to win the ball.
And, unless a monumental collapse in the last 4 minutes.
Well read to gain possession. And over the line for a Seagulls throw. not quite the end product. Now there could be a chance to counter. Now urging him to shoot. Not far away with the final attempt on goal.
That was a really quick break, playing forward with pace and the movement off the ball. So intelligent, so close to finishing it off as well.
Forward progress continues. Gets past really
One more
nicely.
clearance should do it.
Can someone attack this? And that hasn't come to anything. And that's it. All over here. And the season ends with a guaranteed place in the Champions League.
Well, they played well this season, haven't they? And they deserve their spot in the Champions League.
Boom.
Just a moment.
The champions. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Shiny nanina, waka waka, Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed the good one, and I'm out. Bye.
A very busy week here, so this may be over a minute, but let's go over everything that happened here at the White House. The president gave a record-breaking joint address to Congress where he laid out his bold vision to renew the American dream. He introduced the world to DJ Daniel, a young boy fighting brain cancer who was sworn into the United States Secret Service. He honored Peyton McNabb, a young woman who was brutally injured playing sports with a man who should have never been allowed to compete against her in the first place. And he honored the memory of Jocelyn Nungre, a young girl who was murdered by illegal aliens, by renaming a wildlife refuge in Texas in her honor. And the president also honored Mark Fogel, an American hostage who President Trump freed from Russian captivity last month. Yet the Democrats stood for none of these incredible Americans and their heroic stories. They did not stand for no taxes on tips, the capturing of an ISIS terrorist, defeating inflation, unleashing American energy, or ending the fraud, waste, and abuse in our government. Also this week, First Lady Melania Trump held a roundtable discussion on online protection and the Take It Down Act, a bill that will add protections for children who are targets of malicious online deepfakes and attacks. This week, the president also kept his promise to the crypto industry, establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve and hosting prominent crypto voices for a roundtable at the White House. We also had a
This summer, I think Man United need 5 £60 million players. To do that, you're going to need 100 million, and then you're going to need to share it over 5 years. The reality is, we need to sell players. I think there's 3 players where Man United can instantly make £60 million and not need to sell Garnacho. Marcus Rashford, £40 million, a pure profit in the summer if he does well at Villa. Jadon Sancho, going for £25 million to Chelsea. Mason Greenwood, 25 million's already on the books from last year, but we have a 50% rumoured sell-on clause. If he goes to PSG for 55 million, we get half of the extra 30 from 25 to 55, which would be another 15 million. There are ways Man United can do this. How much money can Manchester United spend this summer? I think Man United need 5 £60 million players. To do that, you're going to need 100 million, and then you're going to need to share it over 5 years. The reality is, we need to sell players. I think there's 3 players where Man United can instantly make £60 million and not need to sell Garnacho. Marcus Rashford, £40 million, a pure profit in the summer if he does well at Villa. Jadon Sancho, going for £25 million to Chelsea. Mason Greenwood, 25 million's already on the books from last year, but we have a 50% rumoured sell-on clause. If he goes to PSG for 55 million, we get half of the extra 30 from 25 to 55, which would be another 15 million. There are ways Man United can do this. How much money can Manchester United... One of the top young stars...
People have no idea where cell phones came from. So cell phones are extraterrestrial technology.
Even though I was a great prospect, nobody drafted me for the BBA.
My pet peeve as a hockey player is when you're getting pumped 7-0 going into the third period, and your coach says, "New period, new game, pretend."
Awful pass from the goalie, yes, but what is it you'd actually want him to do here? Like, if you go wide into the wing backs, like this side is already closed off, and Tino Livramento is already going to squeeze on the other side, so that would again just force him back towards his own goal. And so the decision he makes, just go along, get it out of there, and don't worry about it, is probably the right one, just that the execution is absolutely terrible. Like, what a team who's really good at doing this would do was one of those really quick bounce passes like your Brightons and your Man Cities used to be famed for. The goalkeeper could fire it into Ugarte, who, if he was really good at doing this, if his touch was absolutely magnetic, he could just knock it perfectly weighted, little side ball into Lindelof, who could then get spun and play forward. But again, we're talking about Ugarte and Lindelof. That's not who they are. That is not their bag, baby, to quote Austin Powers. But anyway, the thing is, about the execution being crap, is that that's the major problem with Manchester United. The opposition now almost always expect the execution to be crap. Right, we're going to do some really in-depth and aggressive graph work here, so apologies if this triggers any repressed memories from first year university. This one, as a starting point, is absolutely astounding. This is every single time Newcastle took the ball off Manchester United in that 96, 97 minutes. It's either tackles, interceptions, ball recoveries, every time they proactively go and get it. I'm just gonna leave it up for a couple of seconds so you can have a proper look at this, right, and observe just how many of them were going this way. Remember, that's Man United's goal. How many of them are in an area you personally would not want your team to lose the ball in? And trust me, right, as somebody who looks at these graphs a lot for work, not because I'm weird, that is loads passes. Now, yes, there is a bit of an overlap here. A lot of the tackle, the interception, the recovery come about as a result of these, but there is also some stuff that's all of its own. Some of it's straight out of play, some of it's just into the middle of nowhere. Overlap is substantial, yes, but this is bad in its own right. And all told, right, when you factor in Newcastle doing all of this and you combine it with Manchester United not doing all of this, Mark Stats, who is an essential follow on Twitter.
Two on Sergio. For the football.
Right there, if you're a terrible bad nerd like me, worked out that they lost the ball in the danger zone 50 times in that match. That is Manchester United just hoying the ball into the old Kenny Loggins more than once every 2 minutes. Wait, hang on. Yeah, every 1 minute, 57 seconds. You cannot win a game of football if you are doing that. That is an astounding statistic. And just to distill this even further, Opta produced this graph as well, which shows that Newcastle recorded a league high 16 high turnovers in this match. If you're just wondering what the difference between the high turnovers and the danger zone stuff is, like a high turnover, Opta define it as like an attack won by getting the ball off your opponent within certain. It's basically the premium luxury, super dangerous and fun version.
It's shocking that no one has done this 100-day comparison. So here goes. Joe Biden entered office during the worst health crisis in American history, with thousands of people dying every single day, virtually no plan from Trump to disseminate vaccines, with an economy on the cusp of economic collapse, shattered international relations, a growing climate crisis, and he had to contend with the first attempt to overturn a free and fair election. Trump entered office with an economy that was the envy of the world, with record job growth, cooling inflation, stronger international relations, but he also had...
If you wanted legal cheat code, get a Mind Bat.
Mind Baseball sent me this bat to try out.
Kike Hernandez responded to my video about the LaFlamme shift by commenting, defenders can't switch positions in the same inning. They gotta finish the inning where they started, unless there's an injury. Kike, you're one of my favorite players, but you're wrong here. If anyone out there doesn't believe me, this is the 2025 rulebook. Section 502 is fielder positions. Nowhere will you find any restriction on outfielders switching sides. They can swap during inning changes or batter to batter.
As Attorney General Pam Bondi was on her Trump promo tour this week for his first 100 days, here's what she had to say at the top of the week.
Since Donald Trump has been in office, DEA has seized over 21 million fentanyl pills. That's 21 million lives saved, in my opinion.
In your opinion, huh? 2 days later, she said this.
Today, Sean, is National Fentanyl Awareness Day, and it's pretty amazing. This is 119
Are you fucking kidding me?
lives Donald Trump has saved since January. Pretty remarkable.
In 48 hours, Donald Trump has saved 100 million more American lives. The total U.S. population is 340 million. So Trump has saved a third of the United States population. Maybe they call it Fentanyl Awareness Day because we all just became aware that we're addicted to fentanyl. Happy Fentapendence Day. So then the next day, she said this.
Your last 100 days, which say, are you ready for this, media? 258 million lives. Kids are dying every day because they're taking this junk.
258 million! Donald Trump has saved 2/3 of the United States population. If you're watching this right now, he saved your life. Probably, statistically. So we went from 21 million to 119 million to 258 million in just 3 days. The total world population is 8 billion. At this rate, soon Trump will have saved the entire planet. We're all gonna be immortal. Facts just don't matter anymore. You can just say things. You're just doing vibe math. Whatever sounds good. It's like freestyle rapping.